The receipt felt heavier than it should have as the waitress picked it up from the table. She already knew what she was about to see, but her heart still sank when her eyes confirmed it. $0. No tip. No message. Just a clean, empty line beneath the signature of a man everyone in the restaurant had been whispering about all evening. A billionaire. What she didn't know was that beneath his plate, hidden from sight, was something that would change her life in ways she never imagined. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and quiet miracles that happen when people least expect them, please take a moment to like this video, share it, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need hope. Her name was Sarah Whitmore, a 32-year-old single mother living in a small town in Pennsylvania, United States. Life had never slowed down for her. Every day was a race against bills, exhaustion, and fear of falling behind. She worked long shifts at Maple Ridge Bistro, a cozy but modest restaurant where tips could mean the difference between peace and panic. Sarah's mornings began before the sun rose. She packed lunch for her 7-year-old son Ethan, helped him with his asthma inhaler, and sent him off to school with a smile that hid her worry. By the time she tied her apron at work, her body already felt tired, but she pushed through. She had learned how to survive quietly. That evening was already stressful before the man walked in. Conversations lowered as a tall, well-dressed figure entered the restaurant and took a corner table. People recognized him instantly. Jonathan Reed, a self-made tech billionaire whose face appeared in magazines and business news. Sarah noticed the attention but didn't treat him any differently. To her, he was just another customer. Jonathan Reed was calm, distant, and barely spoke. He ordered politely but without warmth, ate slowly, and spent much of his time staring at nothing in particular. Sarah refilled his water, cleared his plates, and checked on him like she always did. She noticed the sadness in his eyes but didn't ask questions. Everyone carried something. As the night wore on, Sarah's feet ached and her patience thinned. She thought about the rent notice waiting at home and Ethan's upcoming doctor visit. When Jonathan finally stood up, paid his bill, and walked out without a word, she felt a familiar tightening in her chest. She picked up the receipt and saw the $0. It wasn't anger she felt. It was exhaustion. That tip could have bought groceries or covered gas for the week. She closed her eyes for a moment, took a breath, and reminded herself that she had no choice but to keep going. As she cleared the table, her hand brushed against something unexpected beneath the plate. Confused, she lifted it and found a neatly folded envelope. Her name was written on the front in careful handwriting. Sarah. Her heart began to race. Slowly, she opened it. Inside was a handwritten letter. The noise of the restaurant faded as she read. Jonathan Reed wrote about his late wife, Margaret, who had once been a waitress herself while raising their daughter alone. He wrote about watching Sarah work that night, her patience, her quiet strength, the way she treated every customer with dignity, even when no one noticed. He wrote that Margaret had believed the most important kindness was the kind done in silence. At the end of the letter was a single line that made her breath catch. Please check beneath the envelope. Her hands trembled as she turned it over. A cashier's check slid out onto the table. Sarah stared at the number, her mind refusing to accept it. $25,000. Her knees nearly gave out as tears filled her eyes. It was enough to pay off her debts, fix her car, and finally breathe without fear. It wasn't charity, the letter explained. It was belief. Belief that her kindness mattered, even when it went unnoticed. Jonathan Reed never came back. He never asked for thanks. He didn't want recognition. But his quiet act changed everything. Within weeks, Sarah paid overdue bills and caught up on medical expenses. She opened a small savings account for Ethan, something she had never thought possible. More importantly, the constant weight on her chest lifted. She stood a little taller. She smiled more freely. If this story has touched your heart so far, please take a moment to comment below and share what it made you feel. Even a single heart means more than you know. Over time, Sarah found the courage to dream again. She enrolled in a nursing assistant program, inspired by the compassion once shown to her. She volunteered when she could and quietly helped other struggling parents, never telling her story unless asked. Years later, as she watched Ethan laugh at the kitchen table, healthy and hopeful, Sarah realized something powerful. The world hadn't suddenly become easy, but it had become possible. And all because a man left a $0 tip and something far more meaningful beneath his plate. If the story moved you, inspired you, or reminded you that kindness still exists, please like, share, and subscribe. Your engagement keeps stories like this alive. And sometimes that's exactly what someone out there needs.